Hello, Facebook. We are live today discussing why the Lake Nestor Group, Lake Nestor Realty, made the switch from Keller Williams over to EXP Realty. And we're going to dive right in with discussing the pros and cons and why they decided to make a switch. So let's get some names up on here. Holly Kinsey Evans, Trenee Lake Nestor, and Matt Lake Nestor. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
You're contestant on The Price is Right. No.
Yeah, you have made it to the Price is Right.
EXP Realty. Oh.
Okay, so Matt, let's go ahead and take it away. Tell us a little bit about you and your business.
Sure. So again, my name is Matt Lake Nestor, and my wife, Trenee Lake Nestor. We are the principal owners of Lake Group Realty, which is now a team under the umbrella of EXP Realty, formerly with Keller Williams for about 4 years before now. And we basically focus on residential listings and buyer agency to help sellers and buyers get the best opportunities for selling and buying their homes. So we've been in business now going on towards 5 years. When I got licensed about 5 years ago, and Trenee has joined the team roughly about 2 years ago. And we are charging along. We did about almost about 9 million in sales last year for 2018. Probably off the record, if we were to count some things that didn't get into the MLS, it's almost 10 million. But I think we're somewhere right around that 9 million mark officially. And we had an awesome year. We sold just under 3 dozen homes last year. And we are looking to really kind of ramp that production up and get to maybe twice as much as that if it's possible. We want to set a high goal to try to get a little further along, actually. So we're super excited, super glad that we've been able to achieve success. We made the switch over to try to bolster that success, I guess, and excited about it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Big goals.
Yeah.
Big goals. I'm really excited for both of you.
Thank you.
So, Trenee, we were talking earlier today, and it was just so awesome to hear from your perspective. So let's dive right. Let's just have that conversation again.
Sure. So from my perspective, the reasons for joining EXP was because I had a transaction with the Kinsey Evans team about a year ago. And it was, I was doing real estate. And my husband was like, okay, take this one and roll with it, and I was on my own. And I did it with Deanna, and it was just a phenomenal, the whole experience was just great. I mean, I had experience with my husband, with a few transactions with him. And, some were flawless and some were a little rocky. But, and I experienced both sides. But when I had to do it on my own, I happened to get the Kinsey Evans team, and it was just like, wow, this is great. This is wonderful, and from, Deanna to Holly to Amanda, it was just flawless. So I often just bragged about that to my husband, and I just told him how great it was. Anyway, fast forward, they were telling me about EXP, and then we were like, well, I just got to KW, and I was like, well, this is where I wanted to kind of be for now. I wasn't really thinking of moving anywhere, being so new in the business, and but I was willing to hear them out because I knew of their experience. I had actually had a chance to experience their workflow and their just what they, how they just run their business. It was just so flawless that I was willing to actually hear them out. And so they sent an email, they just had conversations, we went to lunch and learn. Before that, they was telling my husband about it, and I was like, maybe we should just, kind of check it out. And he was like, yeah, yeah, but we were so busy that year because I was like, ready to cap, so we didn't have to just, keep dividing our money with with the company. Anyway, we got a spreadsheet from them, and the spreadsheet showed everything. And that's when I sent it to my husband. I was like, okay, now look at this. You can see it in numbers. He's a numbers guy. I'm not. I'm more like, give me 4 points. Okay, I got it. I like it. Sent the spreadsheet over to him, and that's when he, kind of looked at it and was like, okay, now maybe we should check out EXP. And after that, you can talk about what you saw in the spreadsheet, or how, what made you want to kind of
Yeah.
look further with you.
Well, I guess before I answer all that, I'm thinking, what were some of the main points, the big bullet points that made you feel like it was your instincts were telling you that you should, that we should look at this? What was it?
Yeah, my 4 points were the splits, the cap, the revenue share, and the stocks. And I just felt like, okay, simple. I got it. Really good. Sounds great. It's better than what I'm getting right now. So you know what? Let's go for it. But I know you like to drill down to the bits of every penny and everything. So I was like, well, you look at the spreadsheet. You can look at the spreadsheet that we got from the Kennedy Evans team, and let me know what you see on that side. So mine was more of a feeling. Okay, give me the points. And I know you were more of the let me drill it down to the numbers, to the bare numbers. And
I know that I know Deanna had an awesome experience working with you as well, because really y'all had gone under contract on a property, and you were one of the first people that she had to have that conversation with and say, hey, I know we're going through this transaction together, but I'm really going to leave from Keller Williams, and we were in the same office.
Yeah.
And but nothing's going to happen with the deal. We'll make sure that it's awesome and smooth, and don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to just sort of go out on faith that she was going to keep her word, and
she did.
Yeah,
she did. So, I mean, it was just great. It was awesome.
I know shortly after we onboarded with the EXP, and we were sort of moving through the motions, and Deanna said, we really should reach out to them, because Trenee was so excellent to work with as well. And, really we want to partner with good, successful agents, that you can go through these transactions with and have a successful closing. That's the end goal.
Right.
And so fast forward a little bit, I was actually helping another agent collect some of her things in the office. And it was late in the evening, and I remember the elevator opened and out comes Matt, and I'm all, whoa.
Right.
You're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, nothing.
Wow. Yeah. I was in the car. I was sitting in the car.
In the car?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, it's one of those, we were sort of talking about it earlier, when especially husband-wife team, but even if you're talking to someone who maybe they're not married, but two business owners of a group, who do you talk to? And I know Deanna was like, oh, Trenee's wonderful. Just give her a buzz. And I was a little bit more intimidated. I don't know why. Maybe because I know that he's a high C, and so is my wife, who was the most difficult person to present this information to, because she's that spreadsheet, she's the numbers. You got to have all the details. So when the elevator opened and Matt was there, I was like, well, I froze.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. You were fine.
So let's sort of talk about that for a minute. How does the work dynamic work between the two of you? Being Trenee, I think you're more like me. We make decisions based on emotions, and being in business and partnering with our spouse, who's very analytical. Matt, the spreadsheets, it's got to make sense. not emotional sense all the time.
That's true.
You want to take that or me?
Go ahead. We can talk about.
Well, I guess there's no real way to filter all that down to one black and white thing. I don't think. I mean, I am more analytical, but maybe at some point the spreadsheets become a stall tactic for other stuff. I don't know. I think what it is that, you know, listen, we're all in the business as real estate agents of being analytical to a degree. We have to be for our clients, and you guys are too. But maybe when it comes to thinking about, you know, opportunity for ourselves, yeah, I can see how La Trenee is more adept at identifying a good instinct around certain things better than I am a lot of times. I often tell her that, you know, she often praises me for being smart, but then I'll kind of, you know, self-deprecate a little bit about the fact that I have no common sense sometimes because I'm too much in the weeds of the details. And so sometimes the answer's right there in front of me and I can't see it despite the level of intellect. So it doesn't really matter sometimes. I think it's just your ability to be able to see things. We all see things a little differently. And so she was able to see that all those big bullet points that she ran down earlier for, you know, a smaller cap, you know, stock awards rather than just, you know, paper awards, you know, the ability to be able to build a virtual team basically and to be able to share the benefit of what we're doing with other agents to be able to help them. All was like this big answer to a solution that we weren't sure that we needed. We were so busy selling houses.
Yeah.
And I was so focused on managing multiple transactions as well as she was, but I was kind of the lead generator to start to put things into our pipeline. So I was constantly focused on feeding the funnel.
Yeah.
And I really just didn't have the bandwidth to look at anything else. But when we bumped into the elevator or at the elevator that time, I guess that humanized the whole thing a little bit. And you were able to, Holly, speak a bit about your enthusiasm in a natural kind of way. And that advanced the conversation. So I think at the end of the day, there's probably a lot of people who have obviously heard about EXP at this particular point. Some people have developed opinions that, you know, they don't want to be bothered. Maybe it's because they were busy with their head down selling houses as well.
Yeah.
But I guess that's part of the reason why we ultimately made the decision is that I don't want to have my head down for the rest of my life trying to figure out how we're going to feed our pipeline or continue to build our sales. That's part of our job, but you know, what does the exit plan look like? And I think a lot of the attributes that EXP offers us is, you know, solutions to that. They don't happen overnight, but you know, over the course of the next months and years, I think we're already starting to feel and experience the benefits from, you know, lower splits. So, you know, if I'm paying Keller Williams $25,000 per year to be a part of their firm versus me paying $16,000 to EXP, and to do that on a better split at an 80-20 split versus a 64-36 split. So to boil that down to something simple, I guess, is that if I have a $10,000 commission check, you know, I'm only giving up 20 cents on the dollar to pay in that 16,000 as opposed to almost 40 cents on the dollar to pay in 25,000. So as a new, for any new real estate agent, I think that is a huge benefit because when you're going self-employed and you're working for yourself, making sure that you have enough leverage to continue to stay self-employed, which, as we know, what is it, 87 or 90% of real estate agents that become realtors within their first 2 years fail and go back to a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be in that statistic at all. And so even though we kind of had already made it past that point in our career, I know as a business that we have together, to me, it was important to buffer ourselves to prevent any slippage going backwards ever. So why continue to give up an extra $9,000 a year to a company when I can keep that in my pocket? And why not have the opportunity, since we actually had the production last year? If we had done the business last year at EXP, instead of at Keller Williams, we would have actually had $16,000 of stock that they would have awarded us. And so I'm out of $16,000 in stock now because I delayed in making that decision. And again, that had to do with the bandwidth of what I was capable of doing at the time. And I think a lot of people are probably, maybe feeling pressured when someone reaches out to them, but about EXP. But at the end of the day, it's simply really to help them to understand how they can improve their business. Exactly what you guys are doing with us. And you spent a lot of time and several lunches and hours and phone conversations reassuring us and making sure that we had what we needed.
An office.
And providing us, and you've built this beautiful office at 5101 Monroe Road.
Oh my gosh.
With our hub is now. And now people are reaching out to us from Keller Williams and other agencies and asking us, why we made the switch. And we're able to speak from the heart and authentically and tell them exactly why. And now they're wanting to become a part of it. And already we have, three other realtors that have joined up with EXP because of us.
Right.
So
I think you mentioned something that's really big that we should take a second. And I wrote stock, but then I made the S into a dollar sign. I'm trying to take notes while you were talking. That's such a big point that a lot of agents aren't really thinking about, because being an independent contractor, we're not given health insurance or 401k or anything from anywhere. So this is basically lane 2. Now we have something. And I think you said it so beautifully that, you left basically $16,000 worth of stock on the table last year, but now going forward, that's not going to happen again.
Right.
No, we'll have
You've got a retirement plan.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And one day, by the time you're ready to retire, it's going to be a big retirement plan.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I also wrote down real quick while you were talking, a domestic partnership, if you're married or, business partners, that EXP does offer the one cap. And I think that is also just, is sort of a game changer, especially in your situation and my situation, where we have to endure all the joys and the headaches that come along with working with our spouse. But no longer are you paying, at some companies, they have no cap. And so if you work with your spouse, you just can imagine how much money you're giving to someone else's retirement. And now we get to put that back into our own pocket. So I just wanted to capitalize on those two things that you said real quickly, because I think those are big drivers for agents when they're taking a look at this company to see if it's a good fit. Because the truth is, for some people, it's not a good fit.
Right.
But for a lot of agents,
maybe not, but
for a lot of agents, I think that this is the answer that we've been seeking.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, at the end of the day, for those who are doing great production, obviously it's a good plan, but I think it's good for those who may be trying to get on their feet as well. If you're, again, you got a $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 commission check, and again, for the sake of using a round number, 10,000, and that's the only deal that you were able to get over the last 90 days or 60 days or whatever, because you're getting your legs under you as a realtor, as a salesperson. Right. And then all of a sudden, 4,000 of that check is swiped up, gone, and now you only have 6. And again, that was the only deal you had within a 60, 90-day period.
Right.
I'd rather be in a situation where I can keep 8,000 of that money, and keep a couple of $1,000s more in my pocket so that I can afford to grow my business through marketing or just through being able to pay my bills to get to the next deal, whatever it is. That $2,000 means something to me. And especially, we have young girls in college, so there's always a bill and a tax to pay somewhere. So at the end of the day, whether we're seasoned agents with great production or whether we're brand new getting started out, I think it's a great opportunity. Part of the things that I think you guys have done to create a platform, because it's a virtual brokerage and some people are confused about, I think, where to experience becoming a good agent. Who will they rub elbows with? Where will they get training? And coming from Keller Williams, obviously they have a great reputation for training, but it's obviously temporary as well, and you do pay a high price for that training at that $25,000 per year. And so I think the way that you've developed your personal model, and that we see some others doing as well, to create a space for camaraderie and for people to get together for training and education and resources and all those kind of things, is the reason why it made sense for us. I mean, we don't need to be sitting in Ignite classes anymore with basic stuff, but just to be able to know that we can mastermind with other top agents, or we can bring people on who might need basic level training, and that they can have a resource here as well for that. To us was a game changer in why we wanted to be affiliated with not only EXP, but who in EXP we want to be affiliated with, because every particular group is kind of like its own brokerage to me in a way. Even though the core principles and core attributes of EXP run through everybody, of course, the big bullet points like the lower cap and the stock awards and the downline that you can build and revenue sharing and all those things are available to everybody. But the way that you set up your organization to be able to help other agents, I guess it's called agent attraction. It's not really so much about the goal of attracting them for our benefit. It's about the goal of being able to pay forward our education, our experience, to help other agents to get out of that 90% of failure rate and become part of the 10% of the success rate.
I was listening this morning to a podcast, and I wrote down this quote. It happens to be on the same piece of paper that I was scribbling notes to remember. And it says, here in the future, power in the present, John Maxwell. And I think that's another difficult thing for agents to sort of step back, be here, and be able to project this energy that you have and use that power to really propel you into the future. So with that, what are your goals for this year at EXP?
So, I mean, it's kind of, I alluded to a little bit earlier, which is to really kind of double our production. I mean, maybe that's a little bit lofty, but we feel confident that we can do it. One of the reasons why we feel confident that we can do it is that we can use more of our money that we earn to invest back into ourselves and into our business for marketing or for administrative support or appointment setting support, all of those things that will help us to have more conversations and build quality relationships. All that money that we're talking about in the splits, it gets to go towards something that will help us to leverage our ability to create relationships with people, and to try to help them to have the best service in selling and buying homes. So really what we're doing is a service to our clients now and in the future, to be able to be more supportive to them, to be able to spend more money on their marketing. Like when, we basically took on a $1 million listing a couple of weeks ago, we were able to use those resources to do Matterport and video and, proper floor plans, and just really put all the proper marketing behind a listing like that to be able to give them the support that they need to get their home sold quickly. Those are all the reasons why I think whether we hit our goals or not, we're in a better situation regardless. Right. And that's not to knock Keller Williams. I mean, we have friends and colleagues at Keller Williams who we respect and love. But at the end of the day, you have to make decisions for your business that are best for your business. Right. And those people will still be our friends, whether they make the conversion ever or not. It doesn't matter. Friendship is friendship, and business is our business. And we want to be on a platform that enables us to grow towards a retirement plan, towards something that we can hand down to our children. Yeah. And whether that's through the revenue sharing or just building a production business that kind of takes on a referral life of its own, or that we've been smart about how we market ourselves and advertise, and that we're able to just keep that train rolling, whether it's us at the helm or someone else at the helm. It's a business in and of itself, and an entity in and of itself that operates successfully.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Yeah.
I just can't decide which frame I like here, so I just keep switching this up. Chris Day just said, Matt and Lachine are awesome and make a killer couple team. Mm-hmm. You can always get in touch with one or the other. They do a great job. Thank you for that shout out.
Thank you for that, Chris.
Oh, thank you, Chris. He's awesome as well.
Yeah, he's one of the top lenders in our city for sure. So,
oh my gosh,
you should call him if you have any frustration. I gotta get you. I think I introduced you to him.
Yeah, yeah. Met at your broker open.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yes, he's awesome.
Yep. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why we think people should have a conversation with us or with you, or to consider, if they haven't considered EXP on a serious level. It might be because of misperceptions about how the platform runs. Mm-hmm. And again, you really should look at the different groups within the EXP to really make that determination. So just like if you were going to interview at RE/MAX or interview at Keller Williams or interview at wherever, mm-hmm. Caldwell Banker, you're going to sit down with them, you're going to hear them out, and you're going to try to figure out what they can do for your business. And it works that same way, I think, within the EXP realm. Yeah. It's not always necessarily entirely about who actually reached out to you first, but maybe about who kind of educated you the best right. About the opportunity. And I can definitely, give anyone who's watching here or who sees this video in the future an assurance that, our goal isn't to convert anybody just for the sake of conversion. And it wasn't your goal to do that with us. It was about helping us to grow our business and to Absolutely. Take some of the pressure off and to solve some of the problems that we were having. And that's the same reason why three people have come to us, and we had a natural conversation and told them why we made the switch, and now they're making the switch. Yeah. So within 4 or 5, 6 weeks, short weeks that we've been on board, already 3 folks have seen what we've done and decided that it was a great move, and that they've decided to make the move as well. And so, if we can help anybody solve those problems, if they don't understand what the real benefits are, or, what the culture is like, which, in our case, it's a situation, a double benefit of a awesome culture and awesome resources by affiliating ourselves with you in Deanna. But also the better money that we're able to earn under the EXP system as well. And so combining both of those things together is just like a double win right now. And we're excited about it and enthusiastically are going to be, talking to people about it, but we're not trying to bug anybody about it either. So, if you want to have a conversation about it, let's have a conversation about it. We'll tell you what we love.
Absolutely. I'll make sure to put everybody's contact information in. So if you've got questions, you're curious, you want to take a look at this model, just contact us. I'll put the contact information in and in the post, and we'll take it from there.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for
Yeah.
your time today. You did a wonderful job. I look forward to being a part of your success and helping you grow. And I'm really excited for what this year has in store.
We are too. We're super excited and we're glad to be in business with you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Y'all have a great afternoon.
You too.
All right, you too. Thank you, Holly. Take care.